All right, we're going to begin this afternoon with the coaches. First off, deceased coach, head coach of the 1972 through 1974, Del Schiffler. Next, we have assistant coach Dan Warnberg.
Somebody from the 74 team just came, Dan Thompson.
Another assistant coach, Frank Shelton. Head coach of the 1970 and 1971 teams, Dave Linehan. We will begin with the 1970 season. The 1970 team returned the Dutchmen to the state tournament for the first time in 10 years. Led by John Thielen and Butch Manning, the team finished with an overall record of 19-7. The team would advance to the state tournament with an exciting come-from-behind victory over Moorhead in the Region 6 playoffs. After an opening round loss to eventual state champions Sherburne, in front of 18,000 fans at Williams Arena, Melrose would then go on to defeat Kenyon and Park Rapids to claim the consolation championship and finish 5th in the state. At this time, there was only one class for basketball in Minnesota. Class of 1970, not present today for cheerleaders, are Elaine Denny, Jane Schulte, Debbie Glantz, manager Joe Rarrell, players who are present today, Paul Lloyd. (1971). The expectations were high for the 1971 team as they returned many players from the year before and were ranked #1 for most of the year. The 1971 team would not disappoint as they advanced to another state tournament with a 46-40 win over Wheaton. In the newly developed two-class state tournament, Melrose would advance to the championship game against Red Wing with close wins over Two Harbors and East Grand Forks. In the championship game, the taller Dutchmen would dominate the boards and shoot 57% from the field to claim Melrose's first ever state title, winning 64-53. The State A championship allowed Melrose to face off versus the Class 2A winner, Duluth Central, for the overall championship. Although the Dutchmen would eventually lose 54-43, they finished the season with a record of 24-3 as the Class A state champions. Those not in attendance for today for the class of 1971, cheerleaders Maggie Arnberg, Karen Malaki, Carlene Beckerman. Deceased players Herb Ellert and Ron Mouse. Those not in attendance, Mark Herzog, Don Rodemacher, and Bruce Schultenberg. Those players that are in attendance, Ken Rausch, Marty Meyer, Paul Meyer, Butch Manning, John Thielen, Dave Schneider, Dean Wessendorf, and Tom Burgess. In 1972, after losing many players to graduation from the year before, the Dutchmen surprised many by starting the season 11-2. The winning ways would continue as a 60-46 victory over Crosby Ironton would advance the Dutchmen to the third consecutive state tournament. With one of the tallest lineup in tournament history, the Dutchmen clawed their way back to the state championship game with wins over Little Fort, Big Falls, and Howard Lake in the semifinals. The state championship game against St. James would become legendary, as a half-court shot at the buzzer by St. James would deny the Dutchmen another state title, losing 55-57. Melrose would end the season as a Class A state runner-up and a record of 20-6. From the 1972 team, those not in attendance, cheerleaders Rita Manning, Ann Layton. Players that are not in attendance today are Tom Walls, Randy Dubier, John Perkinoff, and Rick Boyning. Those that are in attendance today, we have cheerleader Joan Zerbis-Boyd, players, we have Neil Keelan, in 1973, even after returning only one starter from the previous season, Coach Schiffler and the rest of the team had no intention of breaking Melrose's streak of success. Led by Mark Olbening's 25 second-half points, Melrose cruised past Staples 73-47 in the region finals to advance to their fourth consecutive state tournament. In the quarterfinals of the state tournament, the Dutchmen dominated the town of Preston 70-44, behind Olberding's 36 points and 29 rebounds. The Dutchmen then beat Brooklyn Center 63-44 the next night to again advance to the state championship game. In the state championship game, Melrose would face Chisholm. Heartbreak would strike the Dutchmen again as Chisholm would hit a jumper with 1 second left, denying Melrose another state title for the second year in a row by a score of 52-53. The 1973 team would finish the season 22-5 as a Class A state runner-up. Those not in attendance today for the class of 1973, cheerleaders Audrey Carter, Carol Klopbach, Paula Fussy. Players not in attendance today are Gary Imdick, Gerald Schneider, Dave Shaneberg, John Beery, Mike Biedermeyer, and Phil Greger. Those that are in attendance today, cheerleader Deborah Meyer-Klopbach, and manager Ted Toole. The 1974 team from Melrose dominated teams during the regular and postseason, blowing out Barnesville 61-36 in the region final to advance to the fifth and last state tournament. Wins against Marshall and an undefeated Chisholm team put Melrose back into the state championship game for the fourth consecutive year. This time, the Dutchmen would become the state Class A champion, again with a 38-32 win over Mound. In the overall playoff championship game versus Class 2A Bemidji, Melrose would go on to a 58-42 victory behind Olberding's 30 points. In the 1974 team, which was recently voted as a top 15 team in the 100-year history of Minnesota basketball, capped off by an amazing run going undefeated 27-0 and being crowned as the overall state champion in Melrose regardless of class. Those not in attendance today for the class of 1974, cheerleaders Sherry Ripka Meyer, Jane Faber-Wolf, manager Paul Zink, players Al Raker, Gary Sunderman, Mark Mamdai, Mark Olberding, and Ron Danzel. Those players that are in attendance today are Fred Meyer, Dennis Rodemeyer, Kurt Schultenberg, David Crocker, and Dan Tomsky. Today we also have with us a class of 75 and 76. Those not in attendance from class of 75, we have cheerleaders Mary Beth Renneker Dene, Mary Kay Maus Jorgensen, players Dave Tomsky, Marv Dene, Pat Raker, and Linus Dumont. Those in attendance today, we have cheerleader Judy Sabrowski Weber, manager Dwayne Hiltner, players Gary Schreifels, Tom Gieske, and Mar Phelan.
You remember what I'm talking about.
From the 1976 team, not present today is cheerleader Nancy Wells Bierschbach. With us in attendance is player Dennis Wessel. Let's give everybody a round of applause at this time.